Hey friends, welcome to Dough and Discipline. Today is Talkative Tuesday, and that means I'm going to be doing a lot of talking to my challenges as well as my box challenges. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me. I am Toni, a wife and mom of two wonderful boys, and I just love having fun while saving money. So we're going to knock out two things today. We are going to do a few smaller A6 Star Wars challenges, and then we're going to do our Zootopia box challenge. So let's get ready. We will be working with a total of $40. All right, so for our Talkative Tuesday gameplay, what we're going to do is use a series of dice. We have our LED dice, our D5 from Eva, our D2 and 3 from Eva, and we have our D3 as well. The blue one, I cannot remember where I purchased this from, but what we're going to do is we're going to roll the dice. We have a total of 5 Star Wars challenges that we're going to be dealing with. 3 of them are from Mumpshy Queen, and then we have 2 from my friend Maribel at Mint Dough Co. Okay, and so we're going to start with our LED dice. All right, we got 3. So on card number 3, I'm going to place that dice, and that means that we're going to knock out that whole row. Next up, we got 5. I'm going to place this dice on card number 5. Again, we're going to knock out the whole first row. All right, we have 1. I'm going to place this on card number 1. Card number 1 has higher values. It has $5 for the Stormtrooper, and then we have $2 for each. I believe that's Chewbacca. So that will be a total of 9. So we'll have to figure out if we're going to actually pay that 9 or if we're going to choose to maybe just cross out 2. We'll think about it a little bit more. All right, so we got 2 dice to go. All right, number 2. I don't want to cheat, but I do want to do a stretch off. So can we get number 4? No, we got another number 2. So I'm going to place it here temporarily, but we will see. Okay. All right, friends. So we're going to go ahead and knock off the first full row on our challenge by Mint Dough Co. That means that we're going to give this challenge $4. I'm going to speed you through my wonderful highlighting skills. All right, guys, so we are done with this. We have 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 18. So we're putting $18 into our Star Wars challenges. Now, we did not get a chance to do our stretch off, not at this point, but I'm hoping if we have some leftover funds from our box challenge that we'll be able to get this in. All right, guys, we have 10, 15, 16, 17, $18. All right, guys, we've got a total of $22 left. It's time for us to transition to our Zootopia box challenge, which comes to us from Charma Budgets. Now, I'm going to try to stay on budget. Again, $22 left. I wanted to knock out maybe between 6 and 8 cards. We'll just have to see. I have a sticky on the side that I'll be keeping a tally because we're just going to use larger bills today. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, card number 1, we have a search and save, and we have Judy's parents. Let's see if we can find Judy's parents. All right, and we found them, and they actually have a value assigned of $1. So we're going to cross that out. All right, our next card, search and save, we have the lovely Gazelle. Giselle. Let's see, where is she? Okay, there's my girl. She has a blank spot, so that means that we need to roll to determine the value. And so what I am going to do is roll a D6, and we have a 5. And to indicate that we have completed this, I'm just going to put a nice little heart and shade. All right, so we're up to $6. All right. We have a ×2. So we will need to multiply our next card ×2. All right, we have a search and save of the lovely Zebra Bros. Where is our zebra? Where are our Zebra Bros? Okay, we have found them. Their value is $2, so we will need to multiply it by 2, so $4 for our Zebra Bros. And so far we are up to $10 off of 3 cards. Okay, next up we have our bunny math game. Now this is what may break the budget. All right, let me get that out because I didn't pull out any of our games. All right, so for our bunny math game, it says roll a die of your choice and write it in the left bunny ear. Roll again and write it in the right ear, and then solve the equation and save the amount. Since I want to stay within budget, I'm going to use 1 lower value die and 1 regular D6. We have a 2. We have a 3. So 2 plus 3 is $5. We are now up to $15. All right, moving right along. I don't know how many more we're gonna be able to do. All right, we have a search and save for our lovely snake friend out in the desert. Okay, and we did find our friend over here with a value that was blank. So that means that we need to roll to determine the value. 3. And again, just another heart to let us know. All right, I'm gonna add my 3 to the tally and we're up to 18. All right. I think we're only gonna do maybe 1 more card. All right. search and save. And this is our grandmother snake. Where is our grandmother snake? Okay, there she is. And so just to show you what that card looks like, there she is. And again, we're going to, I'm gonna chance and roll a D6. And of course we would get a 6. A 6. All right. All right, and at this point, the tally is officially up to $24. So we are actually $2 over budget, but that's okay. So we have $22 here, and I could write an IOU, but I'm gonna elect not to do that. I had some leftover change over in the side pocket, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take 2 ones from that pocket. And so let's see in total what we have collected for our Zootopia challenge. So this is our second time playing the challenge. And at this point in time, we have saved 20, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $47. And so although I desperately wanted to do our Star Wars stretch off, we won't be doing that by Mint Dough today. We'll come back to that later in the month if we have some extra funds. So again, today we had $18 for our Star Wars challenges, and then we had a total of $24 for our Zootopia box challenge. And so at this point in time, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, and I'll probably speed you guys through this. And guys, just as a sneak peek, once we get finished with our Zootopia box challenge, we're moving on to our Andy's Toy Box Savings Adventure from Savings with Tiffany. Remember guys, to be disciplined about your dough. It's the month of June and we're just getting started. This is our first stuffing for the month. This month, we want to be very intentional about how we're handling our money. Now, as I've told you before, the summer puts some constraints on our budget. We have children who participate in various summer camps. Our grocery bill goes up because again, we have to pack lunch and snacks for these summer camps. In addition, I am working on debt payoff. And so although we have very minimal debt, it is important to me. Outside of my mortgage, I only have my auto loan debt. My husband and I have been practicing paying off any vehicles that we buy within a 2-year time frame. So at this point in time, I'm going to be taking a large amount of our extra income to pay down the principal on my vehicle. However, I'm still saving for the other things that are priority for us. So again, just make sure that your plan fits whatever your priorities are. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And until we meet again, be blessed, my friends.